Hey guys, so we've been talking about eighth notes a little bit in class. So I want to have a tutorial video that goes on pages 14 and 15, not talking about notes, nothing about notes. I just want to go through the counting for each of these exercises, okay? So we're going to do pages 14 and 15, counting only. And then on your tutorial videos for the instruments, there will not be any counting. If you need assistance with counting, come back to this video. Okay, so we're going to start with counting number 43. Okay, so I've got quarter, quarter, then 2/8, and then another quarter note. I'm in 4/4. That means that I can count up to 4. And remember that when we had eighth notes, the second eighth note is going to be the word and. So for example, with quarter notes, they each get one beat. We count them 1, it's the first beat, 2, and then right here, I've got 3 and 4, okay? Now, the second measure I notice is exactly the same as that one. So I've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now this has to be 3 and, not 1 and, 2 and, or 4 and, because I have quarter, quarter, then my set of eighth notes, then another quarter. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. I'm going to turn my part off, and I'm just going to do the clapping. Okay. Here, no accompaniment, just the metronome. Okay. So I'm just going to clap and count number 43. 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 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 Oh, 3 and repeat. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, now it's over. So that's how the rhythm goes. I'm going to clap and count it one more time while I have the my part on, okay? Depending on what instrument you're playing, you're just going to play the note. There's only one note in this, and you're just going to play it straight across, thinking da, 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 da. If you play a brass instrument or flute, tongue to the back of the teeth, okay? If you play saxophone, the middle part of your tongue to the back of the tip of the reed, or not quite the tip, but you're going to basically think, not the tip of the tongue. I think about putting the tip of my tongue behind my bottom teeth as kind of the start, and then adjusting from there. Okay, so I'm going to clap and count. This is going to play. 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 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 Okay. With the accompaniment, last time. 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 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 Da 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 da. Da 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 da. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. We're going to go on to the next one. Number 44, we're actually going to skip this one as far as clapping and counting goes, and I'll show you why. The counting for this one is exactly the same as it was for number 43. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4, and it just keeps going the same all the way. Okay, first and second ending. What this means is that goes from the beginning, hits the repeat, goes back to the beginning, and first and second ending, you can think this is first time, everything with the 1, first time, second time. Okay, so that means the second time after we've repeated back to the beginning, we're not going to play what we did the first time anymore because that was first time only. We're going to skip to the second because that's second time only. Okay, so let's go ahead and clap and count it one time just to get the form so that when you're practicing, it makes sense. 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 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 Okay, so that's the form for this piece. Let's jump to number 45. Now for this one, we're putting the eighth note group on a different number beat. Where we had 1, 2, this was in the last one 3 and, I can't have it as 3 and anymore because that's just a quarter note, okay? So my eighth note group is now on beat 4, okay? So for this one, all they have done is they've changed where the 4 and is, okay? So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and. It's a terrible and. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4 and. And I know that my and looks like a plus sign, but if you think of what a plus sign is, it's saying this number and this number together. Okay, so it's just an abbreviation that works really well because I don't usually have much space to write out the word and. So it's an abbreviation that works really well for me. Okay, and you see it in a lot of different texts as well. They also use this thing. It's the squiggly line that looks like it's like almost an eighth, almost an 8, but it has like the little X at the bottom. It's called an ampersand, but it basically means and, but I can't draw those very well. So I use a plus sign because I can draw that. Okay, let's clap and count this one. No accompaniment, no part. 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 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 1, 2, 3, 4 and. Okay. The temptation, number 1, is to do the same clapping and counting that we did back in number 43, because that one feels familiar, and 3 is a pretty strong beat in the music that we're used to. So it makes sense to put an and on the 3 because it's a pretty strong beat. In this case, the 4, and here's the other thing too. When we have 2 eighth notes on beat 4, it tends to make us want to do one more beat after the last eighth note to kind of finish out the phrase. Like it feels like we need one more hit to kind of make it feel like it's done. Okay. In this case, that's not what we want to do. So make sure that you are playing exactly what I've got, counting exactly what I've got, and try not to put an extra note after this last eighth note. Okay, let's turn the my part and accompaniment on. We can do both of these at the same time. 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 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 1, 2, 3, 4 and. Okay, so that's the rhythm for number 45. The next line mixes things up a bit. Okay, so line 46, once this finishes loading. Okay, so we have our eighth note groups are all on the 4. So that one's on 4. You can tell because it's the last thing that happens in the measure before we have the vertical bar line. Okay, so those are all on 4, but they don't happen in every single measure. So they're kind of making it a little bit trickier for us. Get rid of that. They're making it a little bit trickier for us because they want us to see, like, not very much music has the same rhythm every measure. As we've seen already in the book, we don't have a lot of pieces that have the exact same rhythm throughout every single measure in the piece. It's kind of boring. Okay, so we use these, we kind of space them out just a little bit. I'll turn the accompaniment off and the my part off for just a second. Okay, so let's write in the counting for this one, number 46. So I've got 1 is a quarter, quarter is 2, another quarter is 3. Then I have 4 and. So the first note in the eighth note group gets the 4. The second one gets the and. Okay, and then I've got 1, 2, quarter, quarter. This is a slur, not a tie. Then I've got a half note, which gets 2 beats. I connect them with a dash, 3 dash. That's silly of me. 3-4. It's because I was saying the word 2 as I was saying how many beats it had. My brain kind of went on overload. Then we've got 1, 2, 3, all quarter notes. Here's our eighth note group, 4 and. 1-2, because that's a half note. 3-4. Then we've got another first and second ending, so another first time, second time. So when I play, I'll go through all of this, back to the beginning. Then I'll get here and skip over. Okay, and then I have the rhythm 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3-4. And then this little thing that looks like an Egyptian bird's eye, that's a fermata. It just means hold it until it's time to stop. So what that looks like for you, maybe, you hold it until you decide that the note is over in your personal practice time, okay? If you're in class and we're playing as a group, then you hold it out until I give a signal. Usually that signal looks like holding the note, and then as the hands come up and close off, it's when the fingers come together. That's when we stop playing and done. Okay? If you think about like how, like if you like tell somebody stop it, stop it. So it's kind of like that motion. Very, actually fairly universal motion. All right, let's clap and count this one. 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and then however long and off. Okay, so that last note you can hold longer. Let's take a listen as we clap with the part and the accompaniment. Here it goes. 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Off. Okay. So if you have this recording going, just hold it until the music stops. Not a big deal. And if you hold a little bit longer or not long enough, that's totally fine. This is your personal practice time. Okay. Going to the next one. Because remember, we're just doing the counting. So this is going to be all of page 14 and page 15. And remember, it is counting only. I'm not going over notes, and there's a good reason for that. Okay. All right. We've got number 47, Baja Breeze. Again, we're in common time, which is the same thing as 4/4. We're still counting to 4. Now they are giving us the 2 different kinds of eighth note groups that we saw. So we saw one that happened on beat 4, and we saw one that happened on beat 3. Now they've just mixed them up for us. Okay, so we have to look very carefully at these measures to be able to see whether these eighth note groups start on beat 3 or beat 4. Okay. So just going through, I've got quarter, that's 1, quarter, that's 2, quarter, that's 3, and then here's my eighth note group. So that's 4 and. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 and. Then I've got quarter, 1, quarter, 2, and then here's my eighth note group. That's not on beat 4 because 1, 2, 3 is the next thing I need to count. So I have 3 and 4 is right here. Okay, 1, 2, quarter, that's 3. So that makes this 4 and I've got 1, 2, 3. Now we don't have an eighth note group here. We have a quarter rest. So quarter note, quarter rest, both of those things get 1 beat. We show that the rest is different by putting in parentheses. Okay, at this point, we've got the first time, second time, or first ending, second ending. So we'll go take the repeat, back to the beginning, go here, skip, because we don't do the first time, the second time. Okay, then we have the second ending or second time. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. This is another quarter rest. 2, in parentheses, 3, and 4. Okay, so there we have our notes. Well, our rhythm, actually. Let's go ahead and play, or clap and count. 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. These rests are tricky, so just watch out. Let's do that one again, but a little bit slower. Turn the my part on for this. 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's turn the accompaniment on one last time going through this. This is tricky stuff. 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so that's number 47. That's the last one on page 14. Now we're going to go to page 15. Let's take a look at number 49, Unforgettable Eighth Notes. And do these private lessons that are in your book. Every one of them is instrument specific, which is why we're not going to cover it in this general counting. Okay? The my part's off. Okay, now we're back to having eighth notes only on one specific beat. Okay? So I'm going to go through and I'm going to figure out what beat that is. So I've got quarter note here, and then the next thing is already my eighth note. So I've got 1. The next thing I would count is 2, and then I've got the eighth. So I've got 1, 2, and 3, 4. 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 Okay? And then we have the repeat, of course. Let's try clapping and counting that. 2, ready, go. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 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 Okay. Let's turn the my part and the my accompaniment on. These ones are easier. I think we can just do them in 2 takes. 2, ready, go. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 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 All right. On to the next. This is number 50, Monoman Harvest. Now, this one is really similar to number 46, the processional dance. So this one has all of the eighth notes that we do have in groups on beat 2, just like in the last line, but not every measure has an eighth note group. Okay? So let's go through and find the counting. So I've got quarter note, that's 1 beat. Then I've got eighth notes, that's 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2. Here we've got 3 dash 4 for the half note. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Quarter note, quarter rest, quarter note, quarter rest. And again, first time, second time. We go through, repeat back to the beginning. Then we jump over this. And we're at the second time or the second ending. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2 in parentheses, 3 through 4, or 3-4. Okay, let's turn the accompaniment off and the my part off just for one time run through. We are going to do this one a total of 3 times. 2, ready, go. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fermata, done. Okay. My part on. I'm going to slow it down a little bit just so we can really focus on those different rhythms. You don't have to worry about playing your instrument with this. This is rhythm only. 2, ready, go. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. One last time with the accompaniment. 2, ready, go. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Off. Okay. So that's the rhythm there. Next one, eighth notes on the edge. We've had eighth notes on beats 2, 3, and 4. So the last place that we can have eighth notes in 4/4 time is on, and we'll slow this down a little bit, is on beat 1. Okay, so I've got 1 and you can see that's eighth note group is the first thing we have, so it totally makes sense. Then quarter, quarter, quarter. So 1 and 2, 3, 4. Then again, 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4. There we go. Okay. Accompaniment off. My part off. And I'm actually going to bump this up a little bit because you guys don't need to go that slow on this one. Okay. Here we go. Just clapping and counting. 2, ready, go. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 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 Off. Okay. My part and accompaniment on. We'll do this one twice. This one's not very complicated. 2, ready, go. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 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 Okay. We have 2 more. Number 50, sorry, 3 more. Number 52, Now Let Me Fly. This one has only eighth notes on beat 1. So every time we have a new 1, there's an eighth note group on it. This one is a little bit easier, I think, than some of the ones that came before. Let's go ahead and write out the counting for the rest of things, because the ends of the measures, at the beginning of the measure, there's always a 1 and. The ends of the measures are a little different. I just want to make sure we hit these. Okay, got 1 and 2, 3, 4, then 1 and 2, then a half note, 3 dash 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3 dash 4, then a repeat. Okay. So here we go. 2, ready, go. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 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 Okay. Let's do it again with the accompaniment and the my part. This one is not as hard, I think, as some of the others. So here we go. 2, ready, go. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 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 Okay. Sight reading challenge, and this one has kind of a special instruction that I will talk to you guys about. So what it wants us to do with this one, the first instruction that you have is write in the counting and draw the bar lines. Okay, you notice that there are not vertical slashes for us. So this can be a little bit tricky, but if you just go ahead and start writing in the counting, seeing, so you've got 4 beats in every measure. So that means when we say, after we say 4, we're going to draw a bar line straight up and down, and it's going to look like this. Okay, I've got 1, that was a quarter note, then 2, and for my 8th note, and I can tell because of this beam, 3, 4, and I can't count any higher. I need to reset. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a vertical bar line there. That means this is the first thing, and this happens to be an 8th note group. Okay, so I got 1 and 2, 3, 4 is right here. That's a quarter rest. It gets parentheses. And since 4 is the last thing in the measure, we add the vertical bar line. Then I've got a quarter note, 1, 2, and 3, 4, bar line. And then we reset back to 1, 1, and 2, 3 through 4, 3-4, and a bar line right there on the end. Then I've got quarter note, 2 eighth notes, 2 and 3, 4, bar line. Bar line always comes after 4, and the next thing is always 1 when we're in 4/4 time. 1, quarter rest, 2, 3, quarter rest, 4, bar line, 1, 2, 3, 4, bar line, 1, 2, and 3, 4. Okay, let's go ahead and clap and count this one. Nice. This one a little bit slower just because it changes up just a little bit here and there. No repeat. This one's a little longer. 2, ready, go. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Okay, I'm going to delete this. So I recommend that you write this in your book. I'm going to delete it so that it's not in the way this next time when we clap and count again. Okay. Continue the deletion. So you're going to want to write it in if you're having any trouble at all with this, at least for now. Remember that we can write things in, and then it kind of becomes our way of memorizing things. I write my grocery lists out, and then I don't actually take my grocery list into the store because just the act of writing helps me remember things. So if you use that as a tool to help you remember, you'll just increase your familiarity with this. Then soon you won't have to write these in anymore. Okay? Turn the my part on. Turn the accompaniment on. Here we go. 2, ready, go. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Okay. That was not so bad. The next one, Rio con Brio, I think is really fun. And I think you guys will find it fun too. My part off, accompaniment off. Bump down the tempo just a little bit. Don't be thrown off by the slurs. We have a couple of ties though. So this one does have a couple of challenges to it. Okay, so slur, that's D, that's down to B. You don't need to know the notes, just see that they're in completely different lines. Okay, this is a tie because it goes across. So this one we don't do anything special with the counting. This one we do. That is the only tie that we have. Okay, so just the one spot where you have to do something a little bit trickier. Okay, so Rio con Brio, I've got 1, that's quarter note, 2, and for the eighth notes, 3, 4, 1, and 2. Pretend that tie's not there for a second. 3, 4. So that's just for the half note. Then the quarter note gets 1. I'll go back and put in the tie by adding this dash. So 3-4, and then wraps back around to the next one. 2 and 3. Oh, I've got 2 eighth note groups in this one. 4 and 1, 2, and 3, 4 in parentheses, 1, 2, and 3, 4, because that's a slur, doesn't affect our timing. 1 and 2, 3, 4 in parentheses, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1 and 2, 3 through 4. Okay, let's go ahead and do this one, clapping and counting. 2, ready, go. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4, off. Okay, I'm going to erase things so we can do it again and it won't mess you up. And hopefully it didn't that time. Here we go. I'm just going to turn the my part on, and then we'll do it again with the accompaniment as well. 2, ready, go. 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4. So you can hear by adding eighth notes just in this format, we already have added a ton of variety to what we can do with the music. So we've got 7 different notes that we know, and now we have dozens of different rhythmic combinations that we can use along with those notes. It lets us play a lot of different songs. Okay, let's turn the accompaniment on. We're going to go through one more time. Okay, and then this is the last thing on these 2 pages. 2, ready, go. 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4, off. And that is it for all of the rhythms for page 14 and 15. I will be coming back at you with tutorials for each of the instruments that will go over the notes and any special tricks or tips that I have to get through these particular lines. That's all for today, guys. I hope you have a good one. You guys are doing such a good job. So proud of you. All right, bye.